everyone, welcome back to Dimitra's Dishes. So today I'm going to teach you how to make an eggplant dip. Eggplant is super popular in Greece and we do lots of things with it, and making a dip is one of them, right? It makes a perfect appetizer or a snack and it's super duper healthy. So let me show you what you're going to need. You're going to need an eggplant, or two if you want to double the recipe, some freshly squeezed lemon juice. Freshly squeezed is the key word here, guys. Never, ever, 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 ever use the lemon juice that comes already squeezed in those bottles in the supermarket. That stuff is not good, doesn't compare, can never be a substitute for freshly squeezed lemon juice. It's so quick you don't need anything to squeeze lemons, right, except for your hands and a knife to cut it with. So anyway, freshly squeezed lemon juice, chopped garlic, a little bit of cumin powder, freshly chopped parsley. This is extra because I'm using it for some other recipes. You just need a little bit for garnish. Freshly ground black pepper, tahini sauce, which you could find in like the Mediterranean or Middle Eastern section of your supermarket or a Middle Eastern or Mediterranean specialty food store. High quality olive oil, of course extra virgin cold pressed, and a little bit of salt. That's all you're going to need. It's very, very simple. What you do is you take your eggplant. Let me move some of this out of the way so you can see, because we're not going to need this stuff until we're ready to puree it. So let me put it to the side. Okay. So there are different ways to do this. So you can roast this eggplant over your fire if you have a gas top stove, or in your barbecue grill, or the way I'm going to do it in my oven under my broiler, because for me that's just the fastest way to do it and the easiest. When you do it over your gas stove top, you kind of have to babysit it, and why do that when you could just stick it in your broiler? So turn your broiler on high, prick this all over with a knife, just kind of stab it all around so that way it doesn't explode in your oven. Lay a piece of aluminum foil over your sheet pan, because that's just going to make cleanup much easier, and also you're going to have to wrap it up afterwards so you have it done and it's ready. So I have my broiler on high. I'm just going to pop this in my oven and let it broil for about 20 minutes or until it's really nice and soft. Forgot one thing. I'm going to brush the outside with some olive oil, just a little bit, so it can get a little bit of a char, because that gives it that really nice smoky flavor. The skin is going to get slightly burned, and it doesn't matter because you're not going to use the skin in your dip. Okay, so I brushed it with olive oil. I'm just going to put it in my broiler. I'm just going to turn it halfway through, so it's going to take about 20 minutes, maybe 25, depending on how big your eggplant is. Once it's nice and soft, we're going to take it out, and I'll show you what we're going to do actually. All right, so my eggplant cooked for about 20 minutes, and then when it came out of the broiler, what I did, I just covered it up in the same foil that it was in, just like that, and I put it on the side so it can kind of steam and cool down a bit before we're ready to handle it. And that's just going to make the skin really easy to peel off, because we're not going to use the skin in this. So I already did that, and I'm going to take it apart now and have my food processor ready. You don't need a food processor for this. I like my eggplant a little bit on the creamy, like smooth side. Traditionally, it's served kind of chunky, so if you want to serve it chunky, you completely leave your food processor out of this and just get a nice big bowl and do it by hand with, like, a fork or something. So I'm going to cut off the end of my eggplant, and this juice right here, this is flavor. You don't want to waste this juice, so I will put it on the side and kind of peel the skin off carefully. And it's really hot. Really, I should have let this cool a bit. You could if you're making this dip for a big crowd, you could prepare your eggplants even like 2 days ahead of time, and then they'll be nice and cool. Store them in the fridge and kind of process it, or put all the ingredients together the same day that you're serving it. That's the cool thing about this. It makes it even easier. You can prepare some of that. I love being able to prepare things ahead of time, especially when I'm like hosting a get-together or a party or something, and I have like a million other things going on. If I can make my life easier by, doing some things ahead of time, why not? And this is one of those dishes that you could definitely do, you know, cook the eggplant ahead of time. Okay, so let me make sure I have all the skin off. And I do. So what I'm going to do now is put the eggplant with all of its juices in my food processor. Wipe my hands. And I'm going to put everything else in there. I'm going to put my lemon juice. That's going to add a lot of freshness. My cumin powder and my garlic. Like that. Put some black pepper. A little bit of salt. You can always put more salt later, but you can take it out. And let me get a spoon to get my tahini sauce out of here. So you need about a 1/4 cup of tahini sauce, or however much you like. Tahini sauce is one of those delicious, really healthy. It's really a sesame seed puree. It's kind of like the sesame seed butter of peanut butter. So I'm just going to put that in there like that. A little bit of olive oil. And where'd the cover go? Here it is. I'll cover this up and pulse it a few times until everything is nicely incorporated. Then I'm going to taste it. Let me check what's going on in here. Yep. Oh my God, it smells so good. Okay, and this is ready. Let me get all this mess out of here. Let me pour it in my bowl. Now, like I said, you could definitely serve this chunky, you know, kind of like rustic, big chunks of it. And for that, all you'll need is just a big, you know, fork and a bowl. And you'll be ready. But I like it when it's smooth like this. I like it both ways, but I just prefer it this way. It's kind of like hummus in this way. Okay, so let me show you what I do with this. Put that on the side. I pour a little more olive oil over this. Or a lot more olive oil. And I put a little bit more black pepper, some fresh parsley, and then I take a pita bread, and you could either toast this in the oven and make some pita chips by brushing some olive oil and salt and pepper over this, or if you have a, you know, a gas stove like I do, just heat it over the fire and make it really hot. You can eat this with pita bread, with chopped vegetables, or crusty, nice, warm Italian bread. And that's it. Go on the website, www.dimitrasdishes.com. Get this recipe and more. Make it. It's guaranteed 100% a crowd pleaser. Let me get a spoon and take a bite of this. My goodness, this looks so yummy. Not in there, that's a dirty dish. Mmm. Perfect. A little more salt for my taste. I would even squeeze some more lemon juice on this. Take some of it with my bread. This is to die for, you guys. I'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.